I gotta say, really, it doesn't feel like a pay-per-view fight week, Blake. Is that just me, or does it feel like, Adesanya Whitaker seems like it would be a huge rematch, and it feels like it's flying under the radar. Is that because we now have to pay $75 a pay-per-view?
I mean, I kind of agree with you there, but I can't really pinpoint what really the reasoning is, I guess. I mean, we're still getting the UFC embeddeds, we're still getting the press conference, but I definitely do feel like there's a little bit of missing promo, maybe
Right.
usually we have a big. I don't remember the last pay per view if I remember seeing one of those nice trailers, kind of pumping up the next pay per view. So it does kind of feel like this pay per view is coming out of nowhere, and it's not as hyped up as usual. But yeah, I bet you that price does have a little bit to do with it.
Well, we heard Derek Lewis during his interview saying that someone asked if he was watching the Ngannou fight. He said, nah, not giving him any pay-per-view money. In fact, he was trying to stream it, but they kept getting shut down. Hey, so Derek Lewis, I know you're listening. Hit me up. I can help you out. All right.
You better watch out, man. They're listening. They're going to get you next.
Sorry, I can't help you out whatsoever. I can help you out by giving you $75. I'll Venmo you. Okay.
I'm gonna hold you to that. You saw when that guy offered to go to lunch with him, man. He hopped on that, so you better be ready to pony up.
You know what? Honestly, shoot, if he's listening to this, I have no problem with that. All right, I think that's totally fair. But we got a fight night to break down. A lot of stuff happened in UFC Vegas 47. Also, we got to take a look ahead at UFC 271, the second pay-per-view of the year, which is featuring the rematch between Israel Adesanya and Robert Whitaker, a fight we're going to break down just Robert Whitaker's chances of getting his belt back. And we're also going to cover some UFC legend talk, because it feels like on MMA Twitter, there's a lot of that going on this week. So we want to throw a little bit of our, opinion that's fact, our opinion into the mix, of course, and then talk about, we've had some really great fights, so we're going to take a look at so far, what do we think is fight of the year? But Blake, before we get to UFC Vegas 47, of course, I got some news. If you haven't seen it on Twitter yet, or if you haven't tuned into the NFL show, it's all good. I forgive you. Just make sure, go ahead and fix that mistake so it doesn't happen again. Follow us on Twitter, and also go check out the NFL show as well at thefourthalong.com. Find everything there. But, of course, your boy is about to make myself a little bit more legitimate, I would say, because I'm going to sign up to fight, strip half naked in front of a crowd, put on some gloves, and fight in the middle of a cage near the end of the year. Shout out to Jendo of Uncaged Media. He needed an opponent for a documentary he's doing, so your boy had to sign up for that, Blake. So I'm gonna get punched in the face and punch someone in the face more often than he will punch mine. Essentially, that's the game plan. That's the game plan I'm going right now.
I love it. Don't disappoint me.
Awesome. Hey, I can't disappoint my manager, because shout out to Blake Campbell, who's the new Ali Abdelaziz, however the hell you pronounce his last name. He's going to be taking over my Twitter account and retweeting it and making memes about himself, essentially.
Yeah, we'll see what I can do. I don't know if I can live up to Ali's standard that he's set, but I'm going to try my best.
It's pretty good
I'm going to
standard.
definitely do my best to hype this up.
Hey, do the Ali standard, or I don't even know who it is, but you should be, just, if you can get to, is half as good as Sam Alvey's, agent is, because obviously he's been doing something good to be able to keep Sam on the roster.
Must be like Dana's cousin or something. I don't know.
It's actually Dana White himself.
Man. I mean, 0-7-1, right, in his last 8 fights, and he's still on the roster. That's crazy.
Yeah. To be fair, a couple of them should be wins, but even if it's just 2-5, that's
it's not elite.
Not great, or getting submitted by a 185er on 3 days' notice.
Was it 10 days? I think it was 10 days, though.
Or sorry, a week's notice.
Not very.
Thought about that,
Yeah,
but
not a lot of notice.
Hey, Brandon Allen's a savage for that. For being able to knock Sam down and
and he did kind of get rocked in the first round too. Brendan a little bit, so it was good to see him recover from that and then get his confidence up and then finish the fight. So that was a good fight for him for sure. Get that confidence back.
I like it. Brandon Allen's going to be a force, so I was happy to see him get a win back here. But essentially, going to be duking out 205 pounds. We're making the cut right now. I'm starting training right now. Just got shout out to, they're not even paying me to say this. I paid them to get this, but shout out to We Are Kamikaze. Find it like wearekamikaze.com, I think is what it is. Because they're a local fight apparel and gear company up here in Boise, Idaho. Fantastic group of people. They even left me a handwritten note inside my package here. So great. So if you're in the area or you're just anywhere in the country, because they ship everywhere, We Are Kamikaze. They make some good stuff too. So that if screw Everlast, no one cares about them. Shop small business because small business is great. But there's my spiel, Blake. We're gonna hop in to UFC Vegas 47, all right? Because did the bangers hit? I know we had a little bit of a scare. I was almost about to lose it on you, but it still happened.
Hey, I mean, just missing weight, not a big deal, right? Just 30% of your purse, and then no bonus when you have one of the best fights of the last couple of years. So,
shout out to Julian Rosa for getting 100K.
Yeah, he's got to be feeling great. That's confirmed, right? Like,
probably made more money than everyone on the card.
That is confirmed, right? He gets both the bonuses. Damn, yeah, that is legit.
So he gets show money, he gets win money, and he gets both bonuses.
He had a good night.
That's a good night at the office,
man.
Hey, Pierce, you want to keep missing weight? Hey, Rose's opponents keep missing weight because he'll just 100%. Keep making more money. Also, he got then also the additional 30% from Pierce's purse.
The 30% on top of that. So whatever his purse was, that's great. Whew. Other than that, we had Treyshawn, Gore, and Brian Battle, the Real Tough Championship fight. I mean, I don't think it was like necessarily a huge banger, but it was like on the lower banger scale. There were some.
Hey, congrats to you being right.
I appreciate that. Appreciate that. It was scary because there was a couple times where I thought Gore really showed the power to be able to put that fight away, but somehow I don't know. It kind of was just Treyshawn Gore. I think in the end he didn't really let it go enough. Maybe I don't know. Maybe the gas tank wasn't fully there. I'm not really sure what happened with that because it was just I don't know. Yeah. You could just tell like that guy was the more dangerous fighter, but I think Brian putting it on him like he did in that first round, just coming out, just chopping down the legs, hitting them really everywhere, body, legs, head, everywhere. It was a great performance for Battle, but.
And Gore was about to, I think he had like a couple knockdowns.
Did he? He might have had one knockdown, but I know he'd stunned him at least a couple times. Yeah.
He had Battle rocked a handful
on the
of times
official stats. It actually doesn't give him any knockdowns. So, but I definitely remember him stunning him at least. I don't know about that.
Yeah,
but other than that,
damage wise, Gore. There's an argument that Gore did more of the damage, especially. I mean, take a look at Battle's eye. That kind of paints the picture of what was going on there. But it's almost like Gore out damaged Battle. I would say that Battle walked out of that fight the more hurt, but. In terms of effective scoring and going by, like the judging criteria, he won that fight.
Yeah,
what
I mean? Just fought the smarter fight.
Nothing wrong with that. Battle's a good fighter,
when you fight a dangerous guy like that,
I think they're both
you can't
great,
just go in there, banging. You got to really be smart about it, kind of be a matador almost.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Brian Battle saw the two dudes, Treyshawn Gore, messed up on TUF. So he didn't want to be like one of them.
To his credit, he really did.
I don't blame him.
Probably his two best shots of the night and didn't crumble. Yeah. So props to him for sure.
Hey, shout out to Treyshawn Gore from going from being the last pick on the Ultimate Fighter to winning the Ultimate Fighter and then cementing his win by beating the guy that he was supposed to fight in the first place. Fantastic for Brian Battle, man. He's good. And then
the last banger of the night we had was Nick Maximov versus Punahele Soriano. I can't say that name, bro. That's just tough. Puna. Again, I don't know if it's necessarily a certified banger.
If you liked wrestling.
But it was a good fight. it was a good fight. I mean, I was entertained. Yeah. There was times where I was like, oh shoot, like Soriano's gonna probably finish him there. Like when Maximov ate that knee when he was going in for that one takedown and kind of bust him up. I think that was in the first round too. Yeah. I was like, damn. So it was really impressive seeing Maximov deal with like a little bit of adversity and still being able to execute his game plan. I wouldn't say flawlessly, but effectively and efficiently. I mean, 11 out of I think 15 takedowns. That's nuts, dude. That's nuts.
Hey, anything more than like 3 takedowns.
Yeah, I mean, dude has cardio for days, just like the Diaz bros. So,
he's just like him.
Yeah, I mean, in mannerisms and stuff, but not in his fighting. I mean, that was something that you would never see the Diaz bros do. I don't think. I mean, I've never seen them pressure wrestle.
In terms of cardio and how he carries himself, I think, but like
he's got a different fight style.
You see that he calls out. Right, and so I remember I thought back probably like a few months ago. By now, Nate Diaz, like Hamza and Nate were talking, and Nate threw Hamza over to sorry, he threw him over to Maximov, and then Maximov after this fight, he goes out and kind of calls out and kind of hints at Hamza for trying to call Hamza out for being a wrestler that hasn't fought a wrestler. You know, he's out wrestling non-wrestlers, whereas Maximov is this guy, and so he kind of challenged him to that. What do you think?
Hey, I mean, all power to him. It's a good call. I mean, Hamzat's kind of got the sauce right now in the middleweight division. So I don't know how that fight would go. That would be an interesting one for sure. Because I mean, Hamzat's just huge for the middleweight division. And the
he's huge for the welterweight division. He's huge for the middleweight division. He might even be huge for the light heavyweight.
Yeah, he's
division.
a big dude. He's a big dude. You seen him and Gustafsson stand next to each other?
He makes Gustafsson look like
crazy,
a welterweight.
Man. So yeah, that guy's a problem. But hey, I love Maximov's confidence, and he's got a little swagger to him. So we'll see where he goes from here. I hope he fights soon. Hope that cut heals up and he fights soon.
Well, his agent already announced on Instagram, like, on Monday that he has a fight lined up.
Man, I wonder who it's against, though. That's going to be... what if... Are they in the same division as Shavkat?
No, Shavkat's welterweight.
Yeah, Maximov's middleweight.
Also, I hope... I wouldn't like that matchup anyway.
Man,
but you bring a great point, because let's talk about...
I'd like that fight.
Speaking of, like, Shavkat Rakhmonov and Hamzat Chimaev, Shavkat put on a hell of a performance. Was it like a spinning wheel kick and to ground and pound? This guy's still undefeated. He's a freaking menace, and I was glad, like, to see, like, on MMA Twitter that he wasn't flying under the radar. There are people that, like, he's slowly becoming a household name, which I think is great, because this guy is going to be a freaking menace. And I'm telling you right now, Blake, sooner rather than later, it's going to be Hamzat Chimaev defending his welterweight title against Shavkat Rakhmonov.
Yeah, I think really the only thing that was hurting Shavkat is the fact that he hadn't fought since June 26th in 2021. So yeah, when a guy, and that kind of the same thing happened with Hamzat, right? But luckily he was able to string together those like 3 fights in like 3 hours. So I mean that was awesome. But yeah, you want to see Shavkat fight a little bit more than he has. But I mean that performance is just incredible, dude. The way he put that guy out, he was patient, he was aggressive at the right moments, and I mean that finishing on the ground, like when he dropped him, and then I think he missed maybe like the first 1 or 2 punches, but you could just see the power behind him, and then when he caught him clean, it was just lights out. Had that guy twitching on the ground. So I mean, sky's the limit.
His power is almost deceiving, because like his power is almost deceiving because he's not like built like you see some more of the power strikers, but this guy hits that technique,
timing and technique, precision. He's got it all.
And that he's really damn good. And what I want to talk about is he was on the MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani, saying that, of course, I don't blame him. He hates the comparisons to Hamzat Chimaev. He is a different fighter, and I agree. But I don't want to compare the two as like fighters, but let's compare them as prospects, because they're both undefeated guys. They're both on a tear. They've both essentially been untouchable. So right now, who do you think is the better prospect at the moment? Is it still Hamzat, or how much does Shavkat actually rival him?
I think Hamzat's still probably a little bit ahead of him, just because he's already shown that a little bit of a step up in competition. He's had no problem with it. So, I think I give him the edge a little bit right now. But in terms of full arsenal that we've seen on display, Shavkat's got some scary tools in his tool belt, man. Like, you see guys doing those spinning attacks, that's a little scary, because he can just hit you from anything. I mean, hit you from anywhere, really. Like, body shots, liver shots, head shots, doesn't matter. And the only thing that I'd say Hamzat probably does have a big advantage on him is maybe just sheer power and girth and strength.
I think wrestling too. We haven't seen like Shavkat's like ground game on display. I think in terms of like technical, I would side with Rachmanov being the better striker, but Hamzat is.
But it's also just we don't get to see Hamzat throw down. Really, I mean, he doesn't need to throw a bunch of punches. He can just really overpower people and use that insane wrestling that he has to just wear on people and then get them to quit.
Yeah. It's scary. Both those guys are scary because they're dominant, but they're dominant for two different reasons, and they'll beat you in different ways, which is, I think, horrifying. If I'm anyone that has to fight them anytime soon, just because, sweet damn, they can throw everything in anything, and they just are relentless. I swear, man, those guys are a whole different level of good, and they're probably the future of the welterweight.
I can't remember who said it, but someone said on the broadcast, I think, or maybe on a previous broadcast, but it's like Shavkat looks like a guy that, like a raider, like someone that's going to come raid the village and like get on a horse and go raid someone's village. Something, like I don't know, man. Like that little hat he wears. Yeah,
Genghis Khan.
He looks like an old timer, man, just a warrior.
He looks like he'd jack you up. The old times or the new times, it really doesn't matter to him. He's scary either way. But let's talk about the main event here, because of course it's a pretty anticipated matchup between Jack Hermansson and Sean Strickland. Sean Strickland moving up the rankings. He's still undefeated as a middleweight. All of his losses, his 3 losses came as a welterweight. He has, I think he's up to 12-0 as a middleweight now. So that's pretty freaking good. And then he takes out Jack Hermansson, where there's a lot of people questioning why Jack wasn't doing what he's good at, which is wrestling and throwing out submissions. But Jack never really, or I think why is because Sean Strickland did a great job kind of preventing the takedown. He didn't necessarily like throw down as much as I was hoping he would, but he kept the pressure up, and also he just has a freaking fantastic jab. One of the best jabs in the promotion. I don't, but at the same time, like, I like Strickland's performance, but there is something in me that I wanted more,
yeah, he's kind of taking the Leon Edwards approach almost, but yeah,
where he'll just win.
But, I mean, as you see, eventually he will get that shot if he keeps this squeaky clean record. I mean, he's going to be undeniable at some point. Even I think Izzy, it was brought up today. He's like, yeah, like that's a big fight if the chips fall that way, because it's going to be hyped. It's going to be a good fight. He's a high level guy, but yeah, it did suck that there wasn't a little bit more. I don't know, action. I don't want to say action because it was pretty action packed. It just, you didn't have those like dangerous finishing type moments in the fight, and everyone wants to see that. But dude, he got the dub. Like, you can't really be too pissed about a guy that's fighting at like the top 5 level and not getting finishes, because I mean, it just is so much tougher at that level. Like, all those guys, like, there's no quitting them, that, and they have great technique and great cardio. So I can't really fault him too much for not getting the finish, but yeah, you would have liked to see maybe him put a little bit more on him in round 4, going into round 5, or maybe starting a little earlier in round 5, because he really did let go the last 15-ish seconds of the fight. I would like to see a little bit more of that in spurts, maybe throughout the fight.
That last 15 seconds was like the only time where you saw like the real Sean Strickland come out, where he's yelling at Jack to throw down and stuff like that. But even then, he was kind of backing up a little.
But maybe he
bit.
has to be
It's like-
reserved. You know, like he probably really wanted that W. Like that probably meant a lot.
Yeah, it's a hard balance, you know.
Because if you beat, I mean, a guy like Jack,
I can't.
you go into crazy, he's going to capitalize, get you to the ground, and then you're in his world.
See, I can't fault him too much, but I guess one thing is, of course, we're assuming that the winner of Brunson versus Cannonier this weekend is going to be able to get. If Izzy beats Whitaker again, we're assuming that it's going to be Cannonier versus or Brunson versus Izzy next. But at the same time, I really believe that if Sean Strickland or Jack Hermanson put on a big enough performance, like a one that overshadows what Cannonier or Brunson can do or will do, Sean Strickland probably could have gotten a title shot depending on how the performances play out. So with that, I that's why I felt like his performance felt kind of flat. It was a good win. He probably gets himself into a title eliminator next, but he potentially had a title shot on the line. You agree with that?
It's tough. I think Cannonier and Brunson probably edge him out a little bit right now, just in terms of, Cannonier has that just raw power finishing aspect, and he's a stud in his own right. And then Brunson, obviously, you have the redemption story, the rematch. So I think he might, if he would have won it in a little bit more of a spectacular fashion, I think no question he would have been damn near undeniable. But again, he didn't fight like a top 3 guy. He didn't fight a Costa. He didn't fight I'm not saying Costa is necessarily like the best of the best, but he is ranked where the best are ranked. He didn't fight a Whitaker. He didn't fight a Cannonier. He didn't fight Brunson. So, I mean, I think he still is one fight away, probably. One really good fight away. Dude, you know what I wouldn't have minded is if Darren Till got the fight against him. That would have been a crazy fight. That would have been, the shit talk with that would have been off the charts for sure. I mean, I think those guys would have definitely got under each other's skin.
Dude, hear me out. Hear me out, Blake. Triple threat. It's going to be Sean Strickland. It's going to be Darren Till. And it's going to be Platinum Mike Perry.
No. R.I.P. Mike. Not that he's dead. It's just he's in bare knuckles, so his career's not in the right place.
He's not dead yet, but he's gonna be. Oh,
he's fighting to let me bang, bro. Right? Have we talked about that? Yeah, he's fighting Julian Lane. Yeah, dude, I'm excited. I might have to tune in for that one.
I might have to watch. Is that is he fighting on the Chad Mendez's card?
That would be a good
Or is that
call.
a little bit later? Because I know Chad. I think Chad's fighting like a week or two.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'd have to look it up.
Yeah, dude, that'd be great. But speaking of like Polycosta in here, what should we do next for Sean Strickland? There's a couple things we can do. If Whitaker loses, I could easily see them doing Whitaker versus Sean Strickland. I could easily see them doing the loser between Brunson and Cannonier against Strickland, or I know the UFC doesn't want to, but Sean Strickland's called him out. Apparently, he still wants to fight at 185. Sean Strickland versus Polycosta.
February 18th, to answer the question.
February 18th.
Mike Perry, Julian Lane,
Mike Perry
February 18th.
or Chad Mendez. I think that's a Chad Mendez
Hell
card,
yeah,
too.
dude, that's sick. That's going to be like 2 pretty good fights.
Hell, that's a good card.
Now they just need Adrian
Okay.
Zant on there.
Let's go. Yeah, you gotta get that.
Rachel
on the
Ostovich,
product
I don't care.
don't
Either
you?
one.
Oh man, but what fight would you prefer? What you think is best and maybe more likely for Sean?
Between who again?
So probably Whitaker if he loses, between the loser of Cannonier and Brunson, or even Polycosta.
Well, it probably won't be the winner of the Cannonier and Brunson fight. I think if one of them wins in impressive fashion, I think
So
the loser. Okay, so the loser of that fight or the loser of the Adesanya fight.
Because if Izzy loses, they're doing the trilogy
probably.
easily. But if Whitaker loses,
probably it would probably be the loser of the Brunson and Cannonier fight, I would think, or maybe even Darren Till if he beats Uriah Hall, because I think they fight in May. I want to say March or May. No, I think it's
Yeah.
May.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd really like that Darren Till fight, and that would be a big one for both of them. They both will have hype going into it. It'd be good.
It'd be a lot of
so
fun.
yeah, I'd say probably my personal opinion, probably Costa, Till, or the loser of Brunson and Cannonier.
Yeah. In terms of just like a fight, Costa and Strickland would be a lot of fun.
I'm saying, like, what's up with Costa? Why isn't Costa calling out Strickland? Like, that would be...
Well, it's because he wants Marvin for some reason.
But you already lost that fight, bud. You got to kind of earn that one back.
Well, I think I see the logic here, Blake. So, we all know Polycosta and wine, they don't pair well together. He hates him. He hates the wine.
Does he hate it? I think he loves the wine.
Italy is known for... Well,
I think he loves the wine. That's why he wants to fight Marvin.
Okay, so switch up. If he beats Marvin Vettori, the Italian, do you think he'll be able to get a lifetime supply of wine or something like that? No. Maybe he hates Marvin because he actually has better hair and didn't need implants.
Now, that's definitely a possibility.
That's a possibility. We're going to see Polycosta's next fight. He's because in WWE they'll do like hair versus hair matches. Are we going to see that for Polycosta?
No, he doesn't have enough hair. It's not good. It's not a good look.
And what if he wins? He gets to take his opponent's hair.
No. We're not doing all that. He's stuck with what he's stuck with. He's got to go see. I don't know who's someone that's like came back from that stuff. I'm trying to think, like Jeff Bezos, right? No, not him. He's bald as hell. Who's that other dude? Who's the other? Elon Musk. That guy. He's got a comeback story.
Oh, his hair came back.
He needs to link up with whoever Elon Musk went to, and then he'll be good to go.
Hey, the man that he better stay away from is LeBron James, because apparently it's not working.
That's one that I was going to highlight to not go to.
And honestly, he might just have executive, man. Go bald. Give me a bald Polycosta.
God, that'd be scary. He looked like Shrek.
Is that
he
just
literally
Yoel
looked like a
Romero?
Brazilian Shrek.
Oh, come on. He has abs.
Yeah, like a muscular Brazilian Shrek.
A buff Brazilian Shrek.
That fits him.
Oh, that's horrible. That's horrible. Okay. Let us know your guys' thoughts on UFC Vegas 47. Hit us up in the comments on YouTube, Rumble, or over on our social media pages. That's Twitter at Fourth Long Radio, Instagram at Fourth Long Radio, or you can leave a 5-star review over on Apple Podcasts. And we're going to hop into the next segment here, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, it's the best time of each week, at least my favorite segment, just for the name alone, because it's time for What the Blank with Blake, as Blake is going to fill in the blanks in 3 statements that have a blank in them, and it's up to Blake to determine what the blank is going to be, because it's up to Blake. All right. I'm getting better.
That was smooth.
I do feel, right? Dude, smooth like butter. Smooth like, hey, you were shouting my transition game earlier on Twitter, so hopefully my show transitions can kind of transform or transition over to my ground game as well, because gonna need all the help I can get.
Time will tell, my friend. Time will tell.
Hey, all I know is that these next 8 months, I'm going to be getting punched in the face a lot, and I'm going to be getting taken down a lot, and I'm going to be getting submitted a lot, but that's going to make it all that much better come fight night, all right?
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time. Also, shout out real quick, so once we get closer and stuff like that, and other guys that are going to be kind of following us and helping us promote this, of course, you can follow Jen over at uncaged_media on Twitter. Also, shout out to the boys over at Slip the Jab, because they are actually, once we get a little closer, they're going to be hosting our press conference, our official press conferences with Jendo and I. So, not going to want to miss that. I think Blake was getting mad at me for, getting stuff scheduled without my agent having a say in it. It's okay. I don't blame him. He's looking out for me. So, we'll have Blake just in the corner, just not saying anything, but just staring, making sure I don't say the wrong things, right? making sure I don't pull a Sean Strickland when it comes to press conferences.
Yeah, we're gonna have our own nonverbal communication that we can just, we'll know what's up.
You're gonna be like a third base coach in baseball. Just give me one of these.
Precisely. We'll be like the pitcher and the catcher, except no homo.
Jeez. No, you're going Sean Strickland, man. You got gay hair. Wait, or can I say that? Because I know Sean Strickland can get canceled. Can I get canceled for saying that? Don't say the G word. Don't say the G word. Blake, you have very nice hair.
Is it like Australian, European?
It's European.
Okay.
Is that the new insult? Hey, bro, you got some European-looking hair. Are we just going to know what that means?
Oh, man, I think that's the direction it's heading.
Not gonna lie, I'm kind of. I'll probably put it up to a poll or up to some sort of financial thing or monetary thing. But I'm considering doing the Brock Lesnar haircut for the fight.
Is that where he just had the?
No, sorry, no. I was going to do the I was going to do Chuck Liddell.
Oh, okay, the mohawk.
The buzz cut mohawk.
That's pretty cool, I suppose.
I might be able to pull it off.
Dye it like a color or something. Rainbow?
Red, white, and blue, baby. Put the stars and stripes on my head. Hey, wait. Was it in the weigh-ins or something? Was it Sam Alvey that got No, in this fight, Sam Alvey got a smiley face shaved into the back of his head.
I think he's had that for a few fights now.
Was he also? Who was the one that spray tanned a sponsor on their chest? I think was that Bellator fighter?
Dude, I highly doubt UFC would allow someone to do that.
What I'm thinking is this is obscure story that I watched a video on a while ago. I think it was I think it might have been Bellator. I think they were fighting the Mohegan Sun or something like that, a casino. But he had a rival, a competitor, spray tanned onto him, and so the venue was getting hella pissed, and he had to remove it. But more of the story is, what if I get a big old Fourth and Long logo shaved into the back of my head?
That'd be pretty.
Or spray tanned, let alone spray tanned.
That would be pretty cool, I guess. Kinda.
Should I get the Tony Ferguson Angel Wings? Or the Brock Lesnar dagger? You should do
whatever your heart desires, because that is all that matters. What you think of yourself.
Yeah. Hey, I'm already kind of thinking about nicknames, though. All right, of course. Well, I'll probably end up ultimately putting nicknames up to a poll. But I got early contender in my head, Blake. Hear me out, okay? And once I get to this, we'll hop into the rest of the What the Blank with Blake. But White Dynamite.
White Dynamite. I don't know about that one, dog. You could just go easy to Ross the Boss, Allen. Ross.
I know, but I was thinking that was almost a little too basic, I've had that nickname before, though.
You have a very easy name to rhyme with, so I think you'll have some good.
Hey, hear me out. My girlfriend shot this down because she thought it was a little too off, but the Pasty Predator.
That's awful. No. That's awful. Yeah,
was she right?
She has some good intuition.
Shit, you're right.
Pasty Predator is awful. You're setting yourself up for failure at that point.
Hey, first off though, I would probably be doing that, but shout out to Phoebe, biggest supporter. I celebrated 1 year this week, so she's the best. Want to give her a shout out.
Congrats.
Shout out love.
Congrats, big dog.
Love, Blake. I love you, Mike. I can't. I should have done that to her. She probably would not have understood a single thing about that and been really confused because I haven't shown her enough UFC. The old good stuff. She does keep up.
That's not even that old though. That's only 2015. Probably 2015.
Yeah, old for her, I guess. Older. Sorry. Fuck. Just wait till I show her a GSP fight. No. You want to know what I should show her? The greatest MMA fight of all time. Kimbo Slice versus Dada 5000.
Yeah, you got to start somewhere.
Both men left on the stretcher. but because they were gassed and dehydrated.
I mean, that's why Bellator is Bellator. They haven't figured it out yet.
Shout out,
I mean, at least they've given us some moments.
Bellator is the closest thing we have Pride to Pride.
I mean,
right
it's
now.
pretty far away from Pride, but it's
That's the
embarrassing
closest.
sometimes. Maybe not embarrassing, but it's just not high quality. But definitely better than, like, in terms of production, I think it's slight step above 1FC. Like, 1FC is almost unwatchable, in my opinion. Unless you're, like, watching the fights. Like, the fights are pretty sick sometimes.
Yeah.
Like that Rod Tang guy.
Dude, the 1FC cards
with
coming
DJ,
up.
right? In the
with
super fight?
with the special.
Yeah, he's fighting that Rod
MMA
Tang guy.
rules.
That's going to be sick, dude. That's going to be a good
Yeah.
fight.
Dude. Hey, I'm finally excited for a 1FC card. But, enough ranting on stuff. Let's get into the segment I was trying to introduce. What the blank with Blake. Of course, I don't know how this works. I got 3 statements for Blake. There can be a blank at the beginning, middle, or end of the statement, and it's up to Blake to choose whatever he wants to fill it in with, whether it be a word, a paragraph, an essay, a sentence, or just a grunt. It really is up to him. But statement number 1, Blake. If you could bring back one UFC legend in their prime right now, who would it be? Or it would be blank.
God, that's a tough one.
There's a lot to choose from.
Yeah, there's definitely quite a lot. I think maybe just for like curiosity purposes, number 1, I'd probably want to just see Royce Gracie. I don't know what weight class he'd fight at, but I think it would just be interesting to see like how can like damn near one of probably the best or like one of the best to ever walk the earth at jiu-jitsu. Like I'd like to see how his game would translate to modern day MMA. Besides that, if I could pick one legend to come back, like recent legend or like all time, like older legend,
All time.
like any kind at all.
It's up to you. It's your blank. The blank is your oyster.
It's specifically legend though, right? Like it.
Yeah.
Because I would say like if it was like we're talking about retirement people, I'd say Habib. Because I want to see that dude get.
No GSP?
I've seen enough GSP, dude. Let him enjoy his life, man. That guy, he's been punched in the face enough. He's good. You saw him come back against Bisping at 185. He's done it all. Let him ride off into the sunset.
Hey, can I throw a name out there, Blake? Bring back Don Fry. Yeah. Yeah.
Did he fought in the UFC, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, he was one of the OG guys. Shout Don Fry.
Oh, that's right.
Man.
He won the
And then also
UFC Tournament 8. And the Ultimate 96
also,
tournament winner.
What was that fight? Was it with Sakuraba? That one crazy ass fight?
Yeah, I can't
Like
remember. It was definitely that one Asian guy,
Kushi
though, where they were
Sakuraba?
just punching each other in the face repeatedly, like just clenched up and punching each other.
That has to be top 3 favorite MMA moment of all time.
Yeah, man, that's probably about it. Though, really.
Hey, dude, bring back the stash, man. Also, Anderson Silva, Prime Anderson Silva would be great.
Yeah, but then is he on steroids or not?
Prime. So yeah, no, it wasn't. It was tainted dick pills.
I don't
right?
remember what it was, but I think he was taking legit.
I think that's what. Well, no, I think what his excuse at least was the tainted pills. Like 90% sure about that. Am I right? Are you fact checking right now?
Drostanolone and androstane, 2 anabolic steroids. So no, not dick pills.
I think that's what his excuse was, though.
Don't care what his excuse was. The findings say otherwise. He was on some shit. Two different kinds of anabolic steroids. That dude was on some shit.
Hey, he wasn't doing that Wanderlei Silva stuff, though.
Yeah, that's true. Or the TRT Vitor shit.
TRT Vitor.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many legends to choose from, dude. It's just it's tough. It's just man. Brock Lesnar would be cool to see come back too. I don't know if you. It's just tough to see like what do people say are legends. It'd be easier if I had like a list to look at right now, but definitely I'm definitely interested in like Royce Gracie because I've never really.
That'd be cool.
I've barely even really watched any fight tape on him. Honestly, I should probably do a little bit of research on him.
Yeah, dude, Royce versus Khabib. Well, I guess that's two somewhat different styles. Yeah, a little bit more. Wait, Khabib's a little more. It was like combat sambo, technically.
Yeah, I mean
right?
He's going to be top heavy, whereas Royce is going to be fighting off his back.
Royce versus Nate Diaz.
Yeah, I mean, I guarantee Nate would never agree to fight him, but yeah.
Yeah. Hey, that could be a lot of fun, though. But speaking of stuff that's tough, though, Blake, let's talk about tough, because statement number 2, TUF 30 will be blank.
Underwhelming. I'm thinking. I don't want to be a D-bag and just, like, crap on the girls, but it's like I just not really too interested in the story. I'm not really too interested in their personalities. I'm hoping that the fighters save the show, you know, like the actual contestants. Because I'm not expecting much of a entertaining back and like there might be some Claudia Gadelha and Joanna Jędrzejczyk vibes going on where it's kind of like awkward shit talk.
I was about to bring that up because like that was a good season, like especially when that's probably the best woman season.
I'm gonna try my best, dude, to just have like very like almost no expectations for this, kind of how I treated the last season of TUF. Because if you remember, dude, like, I think when Brian Ortega and Volkanovski got announced, I think we were pretty critical on that as well. And we were like, man, like, it turned out well. Why are these guys getting the spotlight? I know they're trying to build them up, blah, 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 blah. But it actually ended up working out pretty decently well. That was probably one of my, I mean, I don't know if it was like my favorite season, but it was just like I thought it was a really good season all around, and it really showed.
It was good, but also the fights.
Yeah,
that was
I was going to say it showed the contestants
like
at their best, and like when they're actually taking it fully seriously. Whereas in past seasons, you haven't seen
the fighters need like. Hopefully, we can get some excitement with heavyweights in the TUF this year. Yeah. So that
you remember Maurice Green, right? He was getting drunk as hell. Usually, once one of them loses, and they're out of the tournament, one of them turns into a train wreck.
It's almost hard to watch, but the only problem is like it's tough, man, because I was wanting a really good TUF. I understand why it was probably supposed to be, in perfect world, it was going to be Jorge versus Colby. But the only problem with that is because I don't think they were supposed to fight this soon. Is the thing, because the only reason that they got put is the main event UFC 272 is because Holloway pulled out of the Volk fight. Now he's back in, so everything got screwed up, but whatever. That's a big old mess that we don't need to get into here. Because they weren't going to have a title fight for that card now, and so you have to think, there really isn't a whole lot of fights that they could choose from that is non-title but could headline a pay-per-view. Really, Colby versus Jorge was the only one there, and they just need to push him up. So it sucks that we didn't get a season of TUF with him, because that would have been absolute gold, and we all know that. The only problem is, at least in my opinion, my favorite parts about TUF is like, coaches and the coaches with personality and the charisma and stuff like that. And Amanda Nunes and Juliana Pena kind of have the charisma of a wet paper bag with some holes in it. I mean, we've seen their press conferences leading up to their bantamweight fight. They weren't great. And so I'm hoping we get some good fighter personalities, because I just don't care about the coaches, dude. Like, I know one's a legend, the other one got the biggest, arguably the biggest underdog win of all time. I want to sound like an asshole, but I don't care.
Hey, everyone's entitled to an opinion, my guy. Let's hope they prove us wrong, though.
Fingers crossed, man. Like, obviously, I don't want them to fail. I'm just not expecting greatness, is all. I just hope that TUF 30 is not the nail in the coffin for this series, because I do really enjoy it. It's the best reality TV show on TV. Absolutely. But statement number 3, Blake, is that blank is fight of the year so far.
It's probably only a few contenders. I mean, there's only been like, what, 3-4 cards so far? So it's like...
Yeah, so it's Cater and Giga.
I mean, there's no comparison.
Then,
I think it's... Cater and Giga was kind of a one-way street, you know? There was just a one-way ass-beating, kind of. I mean, Giga had his moments, but... No, it has to be Juicy J, Julian Erosa versus Fatty Peterson, you know? I mean, the dude's missed weight like 3 or 4 times now. Like, come on. What's going on, dude?
Right, you miss weight, you're going to get called that. It just is what it is. But and then maybe Moreno and Figgy.
Yeah, it's up there. It was an entertaining fight. I mean, every fight they've had has been really good. But no, I don't think it was fighted. I think Juicy J was throwing down. And Peterson was too, man. I'll give him credit. He was throwing down as well.
Yeah, they both. It was a super back and forth fight. They both definitely had their moments. They were both rocked multiple times, and they were both bleeding.
It's all you could look for.
It's really all you could ask for.
Great.
And limited ground game.
It's our favorite.
Depend on most matchups. Yeah, I will admit to that. But dude, we're 3 cards into the year. And we've already had 3 really, really good fights in 5 of the year contenders. That's not bad. It's not a bad way to start.
Yeah, I mean, we're almost getting like one addition per fight card. So it's pretty nice the pace we're going right now.
And with Lewis and Tuivasa coming up, who knows? We might be able to get that for a 4th in a row. There's also some other good fights on that card. But that is going to do it for What the Blank with Blake. Let us know your blanks, of course, like I talked about. Comments, 5-star review, socials. You know where to find us. Everything at the4thandlong.com. But Blake, let's get into the just about the end here. Let's talk about the big old pay-per-view coming up this weekend, UFC 271. It's going to be, of course, the rematch versus Izzy and Whitaker, and it's not a bad card. You know, it's obviously not the best pay-per-view I've seen. You know, but we had some good scraps, like ones that you could look forward to is like on the prelims. I think the fight to look out for the most is probably Hernandez versus Moricano. I think that has a chance of being pretty good as well. I mean, we have some huge implications. The rematch, of course, there's not really a whole lot more you can say about that. Then possible number 1 contender fight between Cannonier and Brunson. We got Lewis versus Tuivasa, which is just a fun fight. And then even Bobby Green, Kyler Phillips, Rojo. I mean, honestly, the whole main card could be bangers. And so, let us know, Blake, because I feel like you kind of had a little bit of a hard choice when it comes to bangers this week. So let us know what fights can we not afford to miss. What fights are going to be certified
I feel like
bangers.
You just listed them all.
I listed I listed the whole main card.
Yeah, so I mean, for me, definitely it's going to be Derek Lewis and Tai Tuivasa. That's the featured certified banger of the week. That's just easy money. I mean, those guys love to bang. They've said it word for word in the press conferences this week.
They what?
Huh? Said it word for word?
No, they love to bang.
Come on, bro. Be mature.
Hey, but to be fair, Lewis did say in his press conference on Wednesday that him and his wife did try out something new for his birthday.
Yeah.
That was in the same response.
That press conference was off the rails, dude. They were talking way too much about nuts.
Tuivasa, he's saying that he'd do the cup shoey, the cuppy.
Yeah, disgusting.
He's a legend.
No.
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 Not your style.
No, it's disgusting. I'm definitely on Derek Lewis's side in that argument. There's no reason to drink out of another man's cup. That's just absolutely grotesque.
How worse is it than a shoey?
10,000 times worse.
That much worse?
How would that not be worse, dude? I would not want to touch another dude's nuts, bro. Like, under any circumstances.
But there's like a shield. Because like
it's on the inside, bro.
Cup,
what are you talking about?
Well, we've all worn cup underwear before you put into a sleeve.
Yeah, but it's going to seep
fabric
through.
Between the
like
cup.
There's going to be ball sweat seeping
it's going
through.
to seep through. So you definitely classify ball sweat as worse than foot sweat. But how much worse?
10,000 times worse.
Percentage wise. 10,000 times worse.
I don't understand how this is even a discussion. I mean, they're both raunchy as hell and disgusting, so I would never do any of them. All right, am I allowed to continue my bangers now, Ross?
I don't know.
All right, number 2, Jared Cannonier, Derek Brunson. I mean, we'll see. If Derek Brunson starts doing, a little Humpty, I'm gonna be pissed off. But I mean, that's a big fight. That's a big fight in the middleweight division. That really could be the next title. That could be the title eliminator fight. Really, if you think about it. And then Bobby Green versus Nasrat Haqparast. This should be a good fight here. I mean, Bobby Green's kind of on a career resurgence. Recently finished Ali Aquinta, I think, in his last fight. Nasrat has kind of been a guy like. Who was his last fight? Dan Hooker, I want to say, right? Yeah, and that was a really good fight. So just a guy that's kind of been perennially up towards the top, I would say, fighting contenders, fighting top prospects, fighting dudes that are legit, like Drew Dober and Alex Munoz, like just people that are just well known for the most part. So I think that should be a good showing.
I like that. I mean, Bobby Green has really jumped off the page ever since that fight with Fiziev.
Yeah.
Sweet. Damn.
I mean, he arguably won that fight.
Was. Yeah. But that was also just a really damn good fight. That was a certified banker. Absolutely. So, I like those. And then, dude, like this main card looks like this main card could like fly by in terms of pacing because there's a lot of potential for just finishes.
They know how to drag it out though, dude. Remember the other pay-per-view I remember was going by hella fast. And then next thing I knew it was like, well, I mean, probably like past midnight for you, but it was like 10:30 for me when it ended. I was like, damn.
Well, you got to put 15 minutes.
And it's also
when fights.
When one of the championship fights really go 5 rounds, like that shit takes a while.
I don't think Izzy and Whittaker go 5, but speaking of that though, it's time for predictions, Blake, because let's drop our predictions for the rematch between Israel Adesanya and Robert Whittaker. First things first, I know we've kind of talked about it, but how do you think the second fight differs than their first one?
I think this fight just differs. I mean, they just have experience against each other now. So there's, I think, a little bit less of the unknowns. Like, maybe in terms of just, they've gotten in there and kind of measured each other's intangibles, and they kind of know the speed that they strike with, and maybe a couple shots that they know are their favorites. But I think the main thing that's going to be different is the adjustments. It's going to be very important to see like who makes the better adjustments, because I don't think Izzy's not going to be able to just come out and fight the same exact fight that he fought, in the first fight. I think he is going to have to make a couple adjustments here and there, and they're going to have to be the right adjustments. Otherwise, Robert Whittaker, he's another championship level fighter. He's going to find a way to win. So I think that's the biggest key right there, is who's going to make the better and more important adjustments.
I like what Robert Whittaker's been talking about with his mindset coming to this fight. Definitely a lot more humbled. He was talking about how like he hated Israel, but doesn't really like mind him anymore necessarily. It almost seems like things have flipped because Izzy's talking like a lot of crap about Robert, which is interesting this whole fight week. But I like where Whittaker's head's at in this one. You know, he seems a lot like just level-headed, and just going into this fight, it doesn't seem like a huge deal. Just going to like any other, and I love the win streak he's been on. I think, and I'm hoping at least that this is a lot more competitive. It would be hard for this to be less competitive than the first fight, considering Whittaker essentially got knocked out twice and lost twice. But I have high hopes for this fight. I really think it's going to go longer, and Whittaker has a lot better chance of winning this one. Is kind of what my gut's telling me. I almost want to root for him.
Is that who you're picking?
I think I am, actually.
Don't be a scaredy cat, bro.
No, I want to.
Follow your heart.
Well, I already know what you were saying. I know what yours is going to be from some hints earlier this year, but I'll go with Izzy via decision.
Wow. Literally picked the exact same thing that I was going to say. Congratulations.
We'll have material Whittaker prediction from like early January.
I'm not feeling it.
You going back on
I'd
yourself
like to
already?
see you pull up that clip of me saying that so I could see what I said.
I'll pull it up
There you go.
eventually. You thought Whittaker was going to win though.
Not feeling it.
Bottom line. Not feeling it anymore. What changed?
It's just not time. It's not his time anymore.
You think Whittaker's past his
He's
prime?
past his prime. I just think it's kind of the Colby Covington-Usman situation. Like, what's Whittaker going to be able to do? Like, I just don't really see a clear path to victory for him unless he was able to somehow really like outpoint and outwork Izzy. But it's really tough with the weapons that Izzy has. Like he can play that. He can dance any way he wants. Like he can counter you all night. He can be the aggressor. He's got phenomenal takedown defense. I mean, good luck taking that guy down, and you're not 30 pounds heavier than him. So I just don't think it's going to happen. I think Izzy's going to, especially with that new fight deal. I do like the fact that Robert doesn't have the pressure on him as much this time around. But yeah, I don't know, man. I just feel like Izzy's still at the top right now. It's going to be really tough to take him out.
Hey, speaking about that new fight deal, like I know they told us that it's one of the biggest contracts in MMA history, but why haven't we seen the price next to it? Like, come on.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, you see in the NFL, you see in the NBA, MLB, every other, big sports league, as soon as the contract is, well, even really before it's getting signed, it's already leaked how much it's going to be. So it is interesting that we don't get to see those numbers right away. Probably because if we did, public would be like, yo, what the fuck are you signing right now, dude? So, yeah, I hope we get to see the official numbers. I mean, I'm sure we will eventually.
Eventually,
at least
right.
On the disclosed payouts, I guess. Next time he fights.
I guess. I want to see it, though. I'm really curious. Like, give me the numbers. It's so hard to... Every other sport's so easy to find the price tag of the contracts. Like, if I could go look up everyone's contract right now, when it comes to the UFC, though, and MMA, it's a lot freaking harder, which is annoying for people like us. Probably good for people like
great for business.
Right? So, is what it is. But we're both going with decision for Izzy with the and still. But I will tell you, I'm hoping for a Whittaker win. It's not like I don't like Izzy. I just really freaking love Bobby Knuckles, man. He's amazing.
He's a good dude. Games a lot.
Like, why is Izzy saying he's a bad guy?
I don't necessarily think Izzy's saying he's a bad guy. I just think he's saying that we don't like each other, and there's no reason that we need to like each other. It's just, this is kind of both what we do, and we both want to be the best, so it's inevitable that we're going to be rivals and, not have warm, fuzzy feelings about each other, which I think is commendable.
That's fair.
But yeah, he does take little jabs here and there, like earlier today, saying he's going to send him back to that dark place. But, I mean, it's what I was just trying to build up the fight a little bit.
Yeah. Like, I respect it. It's just, like, it's just almost weird, Or maybe it wasn't exactly what I would expect for him to say. But, it is what it is. We're going to definitely see how it plays out come Saturday. But, ladies and gentlemen, that's just about going to wrap it for us here on UFC Talk 77. Of course, before we do wrap things up, though, it's time for the Nene of the Week. And, Blake, we talked about him a little bit earlier. And the winner of this week's Nene goes specifically to Steven Peterson's bank account, because he lost out on 30% of his fight purse and $50,000, all because of a couple pounds. Oh, that has to hurt. That's tough, yes. But Blake, your thoughts on UFC Vegas 47 in one word or phrase?
God. You'd think I'd prepare for this one of these times.
You never learn.
My thoughts in one word or phrase. Yes. Sean is not a killer. He needs to prove to us that he is a killer and kill the next guy that he fights in the octagon.
There you have it. Blake wants to see Sean Strickland stab someone in the middle of the octagon. Those are his words and not mine. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in to UFC Talk 77. Of course, you can catch all of the great content over at thefourthandlong.com, or more specifically, thefourthandlong.com/MMA. Shout out to our amazing Patreon supporters. For just starting $1 a month, you can get a bunch of benefits and also be able to, just more importantly, support the show. Keep working to keep Blake a paycheck here. But you can become a Patreon supporter over at patreon.com/fourthandlong. Like I said, for starting at just $1 a month. Shout out to our huge Patreon supporters, Ray Rodriguez, for all your card collecting needs. Going over to Instagram and follow at the Big Back Box. Shout out to Neil Wiley and Ryan Watson. But ladies and gentlemen, we will see if we have a new man atop the UFC middleweight division, and we'll see if we can get the legendary Cuppy. We'll see you guys next week.